Thank you once again for listening, folks. As always, subscribe, rate, like us, do whatever your chosen podcast.
Welcome everybody to Taking On Sports. I am
Tell your
TD.
rich
That
friends
is
about us,
Greg.
especially
Greg, how
if
you
any
doing,
of
man?
them feel like
I
sponsoring
am
a
pretty good.
podcast.
Just got done.
You can check out all of the family of
WrestleMania
Alabama Take podcast at
Sunday.
thealabamatake.com. You can
Had
also
to
find a
check
bunch
it
of
out.
wonderful writings there from our lovely, talented
Super Bowl
roster of
wrestling pretty
contributors.
much, so,
If
know.
you'd like to join that roster, shoot an email to thealabamatake at
granddaddy of
gmail.com.
them all, as
Blaine
they
will
call
get you
it.
set up. We're always looking for new voices.
Yeah,
here
we'll
on
talk
the
about
Alabama
that toward
Take.
the end of the show.
You can
We'll,
check out
leave it at
Greg
the back
at
end
Bama
for
Hammer,
anybody who
like,
listens
writes
to,
a lot about
doesn't think
Alabama women's
wrestling
basketball
belongs on
there
their
and
sports
other Alabama
podcast.
athletics.
So,
you can follow us on
we'll
socials
save it
at
toward the end
Taking
for
On
you,
Sports.
but,
Of course, drop that
a
G.
good week for sports.
And
Starting
as
up the
always,
NBA
folks, keep it
playoffs.
done up real
Midweek,
good
of course, with
yourselves
the
out
play-in tournament. Stanley Cup playoffs started this weekend. Softball and college baseball. Softball rolling. Major League Baseball rolling, of course. Transfer portal and college basketball. And the NFL draft coming up. Where do you want to start? NBA?
Yeah, we can start with the league.
All right, let's do that. Good playing tournament. As we talked about, my position is, on principle, I don't like it. I think it's messed up, but it always provides us with good entertainment. And that was definitely true the first night, Tuesday night. Couple of classic games, just absolute great games. Hornets over Heat and Blazers over Suns. That Hornets over Heat game was absolutely insane.
Phenomenal.
And then, of course, the Blazers over the Sun. That got them the 7th seed in the West there.
Yep.
Of course, it didn't end up good for the Hornets. They went into Orlando, and Orlando whooped them.
Annihilated.
So surprising, and then everyone thought that was surprising, and then Orlando comes out game 1 and shocks the Pistons.
Right.
So I think a lot of people had written Orlando off, especially after that one game they played against the Raptors, where they just got obliterated.
Yeah.
Maybe a little something here from the Magic. Who knows?
They have a talented team.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not I don't know if they have a direct superstar. I guess, they spend so much on Desmond Bain, bring him in from Memphis. But, they're a talented bunch. They showed just how good they can be, though, the way that they annihilated the Hornets. I thought we were going to be in for a classic game on Friday night. It was anything but that. From pretty much the middle of the first quarter on, it was complete domination.
Oh, yeah. Very shocking.
And then, it's one thing to do that, but then to turn it around on Sunday, you're going up against the 1 seed in the East, and you win that too. Obviously they came to play. That's, and they always say, anyway, when you're the underdog and you can pull that type of thing, especially in game 1 coming off of, a recent game, two big games, seasons on the line, 2 games in a row, and then usually you come out flat in that first play just with the emotion you put into getting to the actual playoff, and then top of that you go on the road, and not only that, but then you win. That says a lot about your team, and now the pressure on the Pistons, because the Pistons a great regular season, but then they're a young team too. No one knows how to really win there, so it'll be interesting how they bounce back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We talked about that, maybe them getting caught, in the second round or something by a more experienced team. But now they're in a fight. That's maybe a wake up call for them. Game 1 there. Yeah, but only road team to win so far in the first round. All chalk so far. Of course, one game still going. Game 1 still going. Spurs and Blazers here late in the first half. Spurs up 10 though. So, but like I said, all chalk. Thunder easy win game 1 over the Suns. Lakers a game 1 win over the Rockets. Nuggets beat the T-Wolves.
The Lakers won as easy as they did. It was pretty.
Yeah. Of course, no KD in game 1 there.
Still,
for Houston, but still, yeah. And you know what the Lakers do? When you got Luka and LeBron, that's a team that can, if those two guys turn it on, that's a team that can
Right.
make some noise. Of course, like we said, now when it
Luca,
comes to,
still without
yeah,
Luca, but Luke Kennard, huge game.
yeah, I'm about to say it wasn't Luca, it was Luke game one with Luke Kennard. Huge game along with LeBron. Of course, we'll see how that series goes over in the East. The Cavs got the better of the Raptors in game one. Knicks got the better of the Hawks, and Celtics beat the 76ers. Anything besides that Magic upset? Anything stand out in any of the game ones for you?
Not really. That's kind of what you expect from game one. It's usually the better team kind of dominates. As we saw there. But as I always say, it's not really series really doesn't start till someone loses a home game. It's until that happens. It kind of is what it is. So we'll see. But
Oh yeah. So go ahead.
no, I'm just saying. Outside of the one road win, all the home teams won is kind of expected. Just interested to see how certain teams bounce back. It's do we think I mean, obviously, Phoenix hell of a run to get to where they are, but man, I don't think I'd be shocked, if they can get past. If they get it to six, I'd be shocked, honestly, just because OKC is that good. Um, you know, um, 70 Sixers. I'd be shocked if they're able to get to five or well, they may get it to five, but six, seven, I don't see that going. So I mean, a couple of I guess first round matchups are probably going to be pretty easy there. So, but I think we'll be in for some great second round matchups.
Absolutely, it's really lining up. Interested to see tomorrow's got an interesting set of game threes. You got Cavs, Raptors,
Yeah.
and Knicks, Hawks, and Nuggets and T Wolves. Those 2-3-6 matchups are the ones I'm really
Right. Yeah.
paying attention to because those are ones that could go either way. I think,
Yeah. I mean,
and
I would like to see
quickly.
how like the Hawks bounce back because that'd be
Mm,
interesting. 'Cause I think they had a hell of an end to their regular season.
mm-hmm.
Um, but when you look at it, I mean, we know the Nuggets. I mean, at home, it's gonna be tough. I mean, they're about 6 9 point favorite. Um, but Cleveland, I think is gonna have a pretty easy. I don't think the Raptors are gonna give them too much, honestly. But then again, we've seen Cleveland win the last year when everybody thought it was their time. So we'll see. But maybe they learned how to win because last year they kind of ran into a buzzsaw a little bit. With the Pacers last year. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how they handle business and great game one win there. Clearly a high favorite. And I think they're up 9.5 point favorite tomorrow. Yikes! So gotta be so they can live up to that.
Yeah, the bracket's kind of set up for Cleveland too. They get that Pistons Magic winner in round two. They can really lean on their experience and get
Yeah,
to the
I don't
conference
think they're. Yeah,
championship pretty easily.
yeah. I mean, I don't think they're scared of either of those teams, even if they do
Mm,
face the one seed. They're nothing. If they were going to be intimidated with not just saying the Pistons couldn't beat them, but yeah, Cleveland is definitely a little more experienced, of course, with different folks who've been to the playoffs. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But yeah, definitely. If there's a time for Cleveland to at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals, it's definitely is this year. I'd say.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then elsewhere that we talked about the Knicks Hawks. That's a good classic New York Atlanta matchup.
I think that has a chance to go 6 or 7.
I about to
Honestly,
say that's one I'm looking at to see how, especially even if the Knicks go up 2-0 at home, I'm interested to see how the Hawks respond once that series goes
probably in
back to
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Yeah, they're over in the West at Nuggets T Wolves, of course, when you got some superstars like that. We talked about the Nuggets, though, toward the end of the regular season, starting to look like
Look like
that title team
yeah,
from a few years ago. That's a real danger. We talked about that possibility of them getting to San Antonio in the second round, maybe
Right.
leaning on their experience to take a younger team down. But yeah, loving the Spurs going with the kind of the old court here. Well, yeah, we'll see how things shape up. Like you said, I think the matchups down the line, second round and beyond, is where
Yeah, it'd be really
we'll
good.
see the real kind of almost mirroring the NCAA tournament, where we
Right.
were looking forward to those second weekend and beyond matchups. Really,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
of course, the other big playoffs started this week: Stanley Cup playoffs. Of course, the NHL playoffs. They just started just this weekend. Got game one going on right now. The Sabres and Brewers are all locked up at 2-2 in the third period. So it's one to pay attention to. Could get to overtime hockey in the playoff, and that is always an awesome thing.
So the late game.
So far, Colorado leads the Kings 1-0. The Wild took a 1-0 lead over Dallas. The Montreal, kind of a little upset there. 1-0 lead over Tampa Bay. Carolina took care of the Senators in game one, and the Battle of Pennsylvania Flyers took down Pittsburgh in game one there. Still one more tonight, Las Vegas and Utah. And then another game one tomorrow with the Oilers and Ducks. Always fun. Playoff hockey. I think we talked about before. I don't quite follow the NHL like I did when I was younger, but definitely always fun. Always tune in during the playoffs because playoff hockey it's up there with some of the best.
Absolutely.
One of the best tournaments, some of the best playoffs you can watch. Just the intensity. They go back to the regular overtime rules, just sudden death and just play until someone wins. No shootouts, none of this 3-on-3 crap they do in the regular season.
Yeah,
Getting a little testy right here and a little skirmish in Buffalo. But yeah, it's always fun. Always a good time to watch some playoff hockey. Let's see elsewhere in the world of sports. Let's talk some Alabama stuff. Softball, a good sweep over Kentucky this weekend. A couple close games in there, but dispatch them. Just keep on winning.
winning.
Yeah.
If you have that midweek slip up.
I about to say after a shocking midweek loss to Samford, had a very shocking. Won't hurt them any in the long run, but yeah, it looked a little crazy, and then bounce back good. They get they'll host UAB midweek before visiting Knoxville and the Vols next weekend. Baseball salvaged one in Austin. We talked last week about how after that surprising sweep to Arkansas, they needed to come out and fight. And big loss in game one, but fought hard game two, even in a loss. And then game three today, salvaged a win at least. So broke their SEC losing streak.
Right.
And
Texas is a top 4 team. So, I mean,
yeah, I think they're ranked maybe number 2 or something, maybe.
Kind of what you expected, but would have liked they got the series, but hey, at least we didn't get swept there. No, it's not. But
yeah, hopefully at least get some confidence going for you. Kind of breaks, like I said, breaks a 5-game SEC skid. It does, losing 2 series in a row does hurt. That hosting a regional. I actually looked at a midweek projection. They were projected as the number 8 seed, which would get them hosting a super regional, in fact, if they won. So that'll definitely hurt there. Should still be in a good position to host a regional.
I would say so. I mean, and then but you look at it too. I mean, when you lose to Texas, it's not as bad as
yeah. On the road, especially. Yeah,
on the road in Austin against the top one of the best teams in America. And you didn't get swept, so you get some for that. I mean, so could be worse. I would say.
Absolutely. Late goal here in Buffalo. Sabres get one to go up 1 with a little over 3 minutes left in the game there. Big. Sabres a 1 seed over there in the East, but a lot of people, from what I read up this week, kind of not a weak 1 seed, but one that's definitely vulnerable.
Questionable, yeah.
But yeah, and then just like the ladies, baseball will host UAB midweek and then visit Knoxville next weekend. So you got to win these. You got to win. Can't lose any more series though. If you definitely
Yeah,
want to host a regional, and then wouldn't hurt to sweep a couple of these and then make a run in the SEC tournament to keep that what am I trying to say? Keep that super regional hosting possibility out there.
absolutely.
Let's see elsewhere. Alabama basketball. Amari Allen declared for the draft today, but will keep his eligibility. So,
Kind of what I expected,
ooh,
kind of
oh,
test the waters.
yeah, yeah. You're hoping it ends up more like LeBaron Philon last night or last year, where maybe not go as down to the wire as he did, but
Yeah, I mean, I think he just kind of wants to see where he's at. I mean, I'd actually be kind of shocked if he actually stays in. Unlike last year, where it was shocking when it went our way, I'd be kind of shocked if it went the way of him going to the league, just simply because kind of at the end of the season and the biggest, he kind of hit that freshman wall a little bit. Um, so, but
uh, no, yeah, I agree. I think yeah, it's probably just test his
see where he is.
yeah, test his stock, see where the NBA guys have him. Maybe talk to some NBA guys. Hopefully, there's a lot of, hey man, go back for a year, develop a little bit more, and you'll come back and you could be a high lottery pick or maybe a top 10 pick next year. Is what you hope he comes away from this process hearing. As far as the transfer portal goes for the Tide, we brought in Garrison from Kentucky. We knew that last week. Brought in Davis Fleming from Mississippi State, another big body down there, down low.
Huge.
That's a
Got a
good
lot of
one. And
size.
then what's that?
Oh, we got a lot of size in the portal. That's always,
Yeah, got a lot of size. And then we got a wing from NC State. Is it Cole Clower?
yep,
Kind of a 3-and-D type wing out there. So that's a good get. Definitely want to see a ball handler or two come in still.
yep.
After losing what we have, the Davian Hanna put his name out in the
It
portal.
is, yeah.
Yeah, he's a bench guard. And then looks like another goal here for Buffalo, an empty net, so they will clinch game one. But yeah, you would like to see for sure some ball handlers come in, whether it's a portal, whether it's a late steal in the high school recruit market there. Just particularly with Aiden Holloway's situation in the air.
Right. Yeah,
So
because
yeah,
that change a lot of things if that doesn't go away at all. Which has happened.
yeah, because yeah, while we do have three very impressive freshmen coming in, they're all kind of wing guys. So not a true point guard ball handler type in the bunch, but we shall see what happens there. And I didn't write them down, but I did see the women's team got a couple of transfers in this week
Yeah,
too, including
got a couple of decent ones. So I think they're definitely. Let's see. Do I
I
have
know
them?
I saw one from Louisiana Tech who averaged
Louisiana Tech,
16 points a game, and
and then we got some young people in the portal too, which is got a freshman, I believe. Oh, was it? Yeah, I know we. I can't. I think it was from like Boston College, a freshman from Boston College there. Yeah, 5'10" freshman who averaged 7-1 and 3-9 rebounds, 2 steals per game. So Elena West. So that's I, you know don't I mean honestly I don't know a lot about them, but they were young, so that's always a good thing there. Um, got Kylie Torrance as well from Cincinnati, which is good to see because we were down quite a few folks. You know, with people graduating and then now in the portal. So definitely, had to had to start making some noise in the portal. So we'll see how things work out there.
yeah, absolutely. So still, pay attention to that this week on both squads. See, because there's still a lot of big names out there for
Yeah,
particularly on the men's side.
and yeah, men and women's side. Honestly, I mean, I don't think we're really on the women's side. I don't think we're in for the likes of a couple of those names. But on the men's side, we definitely could be, depending on how things play out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said, we got a couple size in. Of course, we take some more, but I think key right now, we've got to get a ball handler or two in to help out with Holloway, and especially
Yeah,
if he doesn't get eligibility back next season.
absolutely.
Elsewhere, I don't know if you saw this, a weird situation for Bama football this week. Ty Simpson was on, I believe it's Caleb Downs' podcast actually, and just talked about the Rose Bowl and talked about essentially what he said is that Indiana stayed in base defense all game and whooped our ass. He just said they didn't do anything complicated. There wasn't really any complex
Mm-hmm.
coverages or anything. He talked about in the SEC, you'll see a lot of disguise coverages and that, like I said, when it came down to it, what you interpret from that is that he said they stayed in base defense and whipped our ass, and that's a compliment. I don't think he was trying to say anything negative really, other than just like, hey man, we kind of knew what we were seeing, we just couldn't do anything against it.
Yeah,
Well,
it's other.
The Indiana defense coordinator, whatever his name is, like a fucking little, honestly, just a little biggity bitch, came out and responded to it and said adorable. What did he say? Yeah, he said adorable and talked about how we knew what you were doing too. Da, 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 and then started fighting fans online, and that's the
Not a good look.
real, honestly, loser ass shit when you're a coach of a national champion at
It's
that.
kind of it's kind of one of the things I commented on some on the article I saw. It's kind of like, you can tell someone who's really never been there before. I, he was
And
looking for
like,
something that really wasn't there. Ty didn't really. It wasn't a slide or anything. He basically said, "Hey," I mean, I took as you did, pretty straightforward. They didn't do anything fancy and whooped our ass. I mean, I would say that that's more telling of just how dominant of a win it was from that description, more so than anything. But I don't. If
oh, nice play from Ronald Acuna to end the Braves game right here. Oh, run and catch, nice. Yeah, no, I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but Ty basically he was talking about coverages, what they saw pre-snap, and he was saying we kind of knew what they were doing, we knew what defense they were in. They weren't doing anything, they weren't disguising anything, but they were just beating us. And then he actually explicitly complimented the coaching and said they were just so disciplined and so well coached
yeah, I
that
don't know.
they didn't need to do anything complicated.
All right.
And how you get from that, yeah, that's a lack of comprehension there. How you get from that, like that he's saying anything negative, and then he comes out like he said, he says adorable and talks about how well, we knew what you were doing based on
Well,
cues, which
obviously, we saw the score. I mean,
I'm about to say, and you talk to any Alabama fan, hell, that's a lot of our problem with the Ryan Grubb play calling toward the end of the season was, yeah, we all knew what was coming. So you're not telling us anything new there.
it's
Yeah, so it's a weird situation, just kind of a weird story this week.
yeah,
Um,
really,
yeah. So, and the other thing of weird that's sort of Alabama related is Morgan Wallen had a concert in Bryant Denny this weekend, and somehow we let him, who he's a Tennessee fan,
orange
and we let
lights.
him, yeah, all these Tennessee ass orange lights in there. Like, what are we doing, y'all? Come on, have some pride.
Right.
Like, that put something in the contract at least saying like, all right, yeah, you can play here, but like, we know you're a Tennessee fan. Don't do any Tennessee ass shit. And it's kind of embarrassing, honestly, if we're talking about it. Like, just the way that we let people come in. We see it with game day. They come in and they bring opposing fans on as our
Yeah.
guest pickers when they're in Tuscaloosa. Like, this kind of shit needs.
Yeah. Right. We needed this. Yeah. I mean,
It's
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 weird.
it's
It's
yeah.
weird because that stuff's not happening elsewhere. I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
why.
trivial. At the end of the day, it's trivial. It's not a big thing, but it's still like a matter of kind of pride, or even if you want to look at it from a business perspective, that's protecting your brand. I mean, Whataburger came in and put a location in Tuscaloosa, and we didn't let them use their signature orange color.
Yeah, the one on the
And
strip. Yeah, just a
if we
great.
can do that, yeah, if you can do that to the big ass corporation like Whataburger, you know, national chain, you can certainly do that to.
While in your stadium.
Yeah, exactly. You can do that to someone in stadium, and you know, I'll keep my. I'm not gonna turn this into a music podcast, but you know, Morgan Wallen sucks. I'll just put it that way. He sucks, and his music's terrible. And yeah, you can see some of his history of some words he drops, some behaviors he's had in the past. Doesn't seem like much of a great guy either. So, I mean,
Yeah, of
can you
course.
take that shit on? So I just
Yeah,
don't know what the hell we're doing.
we
Yeah.
done. Yeah, and then on that game, you mentioned game day too. Yeah, it's been kind of frustrating in time. We really haven't had any pro Alabama people on game day in quite some time, other than like Nick
Yeah.
Saban last year. Like,
I about to say, yeah, Nick Saban. No, yeah, we had Miss Terry on, and
yeah, Miss Terry. Sorry, yeah, Miss Terry was the game day.
yeah.
But
So,
other than that, yeah, but
come on, Greg Byrne, like, come on, get on top of this shit, man.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
sure, whatever. If we're taking the money from that for NIL or whatever, then great. But yeah, come on. You can't be
Yeah,
letting someone have, you know, however many thousands of people in that stadium were there the other night and have Tennessee Orange playing
yeah.
all over the place. Like, what are we doing here?
I know.
Yeah. Let's see elsewhere. Major League Baseball rolling on. You know, it's early season, nothing. The old adage goes, you can't really win a division or a league this early, but you can lose it. And right now, the New York Mets, whew, an 11-game losing streak so far, put their record at I think 7-15 to start the year. That is,
What you want? Yeah,
man, yeah, just another painful
yeah.
part of Mets fandom right there. Just spending again all this money they spent, and now they're bottom, last place in the NL East, 7.5 back now, maybe eight of the Braves, who just completed a sweep of the Phillies, who are only right there above the Mets. So, also a little bit funny to see all these Latin guys on the Braves right now wearing these face masks and stuff. It must be a little chilly up in Philly.
Yeah.
It got a little chilly today by Birmingham, by the standards recently. You know, it's been in the 70s and 80s recently, and today it's been down in like it felt like 40 something this morning. So,
That's true.
yeah.
True.
But, yeah, other than that, you got, you know, Braves rolling. Dodgers are rolling along. I think they got the best record in baseball right now.
Good teams.
Your Yanks are on a 3-game winning streak back in top of the AL
Needed that.
East.
I needed that because it was
Hmm.
a lot. I swept by Tampa. Lost 2 or 3 to Baltimore before that. But
Yeah, Cody, was it Cody Bellinger had himself a day
um,
yesterday.
yeah, needed that against
Yeah.
the Royals, who seemed to already be in normal Royal form. And 7-15 in the season.
Yeah, they're down there with the Dregs too, tied for the Mets with the worst record in baseball right now. So, losers of 7 straight themselves. But yeah, so those are your early season storylines right now. Like I said, Mets fans, oof, that's rough,
Yeah,
and they know it too. Yeah. Other than that, you know, kind of ABS seems to be a hit so far. You know, challenging ball strike system. You know, I'm sure it's not too popular with the umpires, but you know, it just got to a point where some of these missed calls were a little ridiculous.
solid. I
And
mean,
but
they
yeah,
get it right.
yeah, exactly. It's tough, and you know, it's part of the game. And you know, one of the unique things about baseball is, you know, different umpires having, you
Right,
know,
different.
not necessarily different strike zones, but just kind of, you know, some umpires more likely to give you the
Right.
outside corner or the bottom corner. You know, some umpires are more likely to give you inside, stuff like that. And that's one thing. But when you get guys that are missing blatant calls that are like, you know, a couple of inches off the plate, a couple of feet, you know, like that's where you get in trouble there. And it doesn't seem to be slowing down the game too much. I think the average game time is up just a few minutes, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, not bad.
And I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but I don't care. The Braves City Connect uniforms, the powder blue, I love them. They're great.
I think I like them. They're legit.
There's some good ones out. There's of course some bad ones out this year too, but oh yeah, and that are good. We can switch gears. Speaking of, a few NFL teams dropped some redesigns or updated uniforms this week, and the Ravens chief among them.
I like it.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I like the Raven one. I was
Yeah, I didn't even know it was coming. I just saw I was on I think the Ravens Reddit or something. Saw some people talking about, and I was like, oh, are they debuting a new alternate one? And then I saw, oh no, they're doing a whole event. It wasn't a complete overhaul, same logo, but as a good updates on the Thursday, they kind of dropped that. They had that '90s style drop shadow numbers. They got rid of that and did this called they called it like midnight purple tint on the outline of the numbers. They'll have purple numbers on the away uniforms now. They kind of added little wings around the neck collar there, kind of an homage to their original logo too. Couple new updated the purple rising. That's their all purple alternate. Kind of updated that
Dude,
helmet. And
I really like that. The all purple. That's legit to me.
I do, and they made some updates to make it look more Ravens. The problem I've had with the past couple of years is it looked a little too much like the Vikings. And so they made some updates to that. And then the all black uniforms, I think, look really good now. They added a matte black helmet with an alternate logo. And I think that'll look really good out in the field.
Absolutely.
And then added some they call them talon stripes to the pants. They're okay. I just like them adding something to the pants. For years, the Ravens have just had plain pants. And so they're doing two things when they're supposed to mimic talons on Ravens, but also kind of an homage to the Baltimore/Maryland flag. So that's kind of cool. I'd like to see that in person. But yeah, I'm overall a fan of what they did. Let's see who else. The Rams updated their uniform a little bit. Kind of got rid of some of the gradient stuff they were doing. Similar to what the Falcons did earlier. I think the Falcons should make that red helmet of theirs their full-time helmet.
I think so too. I've always liked that red helmet.
The Commanders did a couple little updates. Their
Oh,
colors are going.
More the Redskins.
Yeah, exactly. They're kind of doing that more. The color scheme more like they used to have, kind of a little bit brighter red,
Yeah,
and
much more how it was.
yeah, and added a alternate helmet with a spear going through the W, so a little homage there. And let's see, there's one more team. Oh, of course, earlier in the all season, the Titans rolled out a new uniform that more adopts a color scheme of the old Oilers, but I actually not the biggest fan of it. I don't think they really did a lot. I think it's a little bullshit. Like the Oilers aren't there. I mean, yeah, it's the same franchise technically, but it's not really their history. Like
It's not. It's kind of weird, but I like. I
yeah.
love. I like. I mean, I love the what's the name though. I really do. The I but I especially like it when like the universe. I just like the whole Oilers look. I like it like when the University of Houston does it. That
No, it's a great color scheme that powder blue, red and white. Yeah.
I like it. I like
And we talked about. I mean, that's kind of the Braves alternates are very similar. That blue's a little bit darker on the Braves, but that powder blue, red and white looks really good.
Absolutely.
And then I guess another big story this week, I guess, was the Athletics' Diana Rossini. Of course, last week there were some photos came out with her and Patriots coach Mike Vrabel at I guess a exclusive resort, holding hands, sitting in a hot tub together. Of course, we don't know what's going on there, but basically after initially backing her up, the Athletic launched an investigation, and she resigned, basically saying rather than
go
go
through.
through this public,
Yeah,
trial. Basically, she would just resign, and it
yeah,
is what as far as what could go on there. That is between them and their spouses.
yeah.
That's nobody's. And as far that's them. That's neither here nor there for us to discuss. I don't
It's
think.
not. Yeah, I mean, it's not. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like other stuff where they were, part of the same organization, like we saw with like the Celtics thing a couple years
Yeah.
ago. I mean, it really will have no bearing on him as far as the Patriots coach or anything. Because if he
Yeah.
did anything, yeah, like you said, that's between them. I mean, not really a big thing. Obviously, she's. I would say the only thing that really is crazy is just how much she's taking all the heat for it, and he's just kind of chilling, like no one.
Exactly. And then a lot of it is now there's a fair discussion to be had about the journalistic integrity of it. And, because now there's some people going back and some of like
But
insides information she got when he was
how they
coach
get
of the Titans and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's fair. But the reaction to this is it's been a little sexist, a little misogynistic, a little, like you said, it's amazing how it's all focused on her and barely any on Mike Vrabel. And a lot of people digging up clips of, jokes she's made about her husband or something like that on TV. And it's just been a little bit,
yeah, it's just I don't know, like like you said, it's between them and their spouses, how they feel about it. You know, that's all. That's all that really matters. What other people think, not may hurt her a little bit as far as getting her next gig or job. But I mean, it's a lot of different outlets. I'm sure they would be happy to get her. Should she? But overall, the only thing it really does is people will take that thing. Well, the only way women could get inside info is by sleeping with people, which definitely is not the case. Or
yeah.
because plenty of plenty of women that do great work in all the sports, and so but people are quick to take that route, and obviously who knows. Obviously she's done great work over the years herself. So I mean, you don't want to take from her. In this situation, maybe they are having an affair. Her did anything with her career at all? Who knows? But that's not. I, I mean, obviously her contract is up to in June, so may not been renewed anyways. So I think that's another. It's just easier for her to go out rather than fight it for the rest of her time at the athletic, which understandable because it's going to come down to a he say she say type thing more than anything without a lot of facts, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. And, hopefully, like you said, hopefully eventually she can, her career does move on. And, we can put this behind us. And, but,
Because to be fair, I mean, we've seen plenty. I mean, men do it all. I mean, men,
well,
have all type of crazy stuff come up and bounce
I
back
bet
with
to
no.
say,
So
and one of the best things I've seen is people bringing up a few years ago when Adam Schefter email leaked about him that during negotiations between the NFL and the Players Union, where he literally wrote a story and then emailed a draft of it to a team president asking him if he would like to make any changes. And that is a severely problematic thing to do in journalism.
yeah,
You were writing a story on negotiations between employers and the union, the employees,
yeah.
and then you email a story that you're going to write to one of the team presidents
You see if
to
you're all
see
right
what
with
if he to see if he wants to edit it and make himself look or make the NFL look better in it. Like that I mean honestly that should get you fired, but Adam Schefter is so connected that he's protected from that. But that is like journalism ethics 101 right there, man. And that's some shady shit. And he did not catch near the flack that she is. And
no.
I think if anybody follows Tanya Ray Fox on Threads, I think she has been a lot of great points about it this week. She's a sports reporter mainly. I think NFL, NBA stuff, based out of Los Angeles. And
Yeah.
she's if you don't follow her, I do recommend following her. She's a great follow.
Follow. Yeah.
Yeah, but she had a lot of good stuff on it this week. Yeah, it's especially good to get a female voice perspective on that too as well.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I just thought we should touch on that as well. All right. Anything else in sports you want to get to before we talk a little WrestleMania here?
No, I think we just more or less kind of, I guess, the other big thing, of course, this week is the NFL draft. We'll say, I guess, the Giants kind of made their big trade.
Oh, yeah. We did. Yeah, missed that. Sorry.
And,
Go ahead.
is it with Dexter Lawrence to the
Dexter to the Bengals. Yeah, for their. I believe they have the 10th pick in the first round,
they
and
have the
and
fifth and the tenth round, so that's huge for the Giants as far as. But a bit, that's obviously the Bengals defense needs help. He's a great pass rusher, so that helps them immensely. And then, of course, the Giants are obviously trying to get younger, but to have two picks in your top 10 now, that's exciting for them. Plus, in Harbaugh's first year as their coach, that'd be interesting to see what they do with those.
yeah, no, absolutely. That's a good get for a team that struggled mightily against the run, especially too. That's a big body up there, and then you mentioned he's a really good pass rushing tackle. So yeah, it's just one piece there. Of course, a lot still needs to happen on that Cincinnati defensive
Oh
side.
yeah, absolutely, a lot. But I mean, that's a start in a sense. But yeah,
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. This week the draft comes up. We'll see. Georgia receiver Zachariah Branch was arrested this weekend. I didn't see the charges actually. I just saw the headline. So
let's see
that's
that.
it's something to watch going into the draft. Not that he was a high pick or anything, but it still could. It could be a difference between being a day three pick and a undrafted free agent. So
Yeah,
since he is a Georgia player, I assume it has something to do
maybe
with speeding or some type of driving type thing.
something with that drop. Yeah, yeah.
Because
That's
I don't know what it is about it there. Maybe
that's
maybe
what
they
they're
just got some good straightaways around Athens. I don't know.
Yeah,
I see right now Portland has closed the gap here, only down two and midway through the third here. Oop, and now it's five, wide open three there. But yeah, let's talk some WrestleMania. Where do you want to start? I think we talked a little bit beforehand, and we said it wasn't the best, wasn't the worst Mania. But
I guess we can start with last night, and then we'll talk about tonight.
yeah, okay, yeah, we can go. Of course, last night headlined by Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, which I thought was better than the lead up was. A lot of people worried might be a little too much of Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll, and they kind of got them out the way early.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you knew they were going to have something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I thought it ended up being a great fight. Yeah, I think it lived up to what you expect from them. I mean, obviously, both put everything out there. Myself was a little being a big Randy fan. I was kind of disappointed he didn't get the job done, but he did attack him afterwards. I mean, that just lets us know that he's going to see him again at some point
I'm
this
about to
year.
say, yeah, it looks like that story will continue at least somewhat.
Might get
Yeah,
to some.
like you said, Cody got the win. I like the storytelling with the finish. I don't know, I've seen some people, but Randy Orton couldn't help but be himself. Hit an RKO on Pat McAfee, and that opened the door just enough for Cody Rhodes to hit him with the crossroads, take the match. So I kind of like that storytelling where, a little bit of Randy Orton just can't help himself when he's that kind of heel. But you
Yeah,
mentioned the attack afterwards, the old school little kick to the head, the
dude, he
punt
kicked
or
him for
whatever.
real because he said,
Oh,
"Oh shit."
man.
He said, "Oh."
It's,
He asked me if he's all right. He's oh shit. He kicked the hell out of Cody.
yeah, it was vicious. It sounded. there's a little
Yeah.
pop to it there. But yeah, and then let's see elsewhere you had. Let's see, Liv Morgan take the women's title off of Stephanie
I was hoping
Vacour.
for a little more from that match. I thought it was lacking a little bit. Kind of short. I didn't think it was. I thought it had a lot. I don't know. I thought it could have did a lot better than what it did as far as the match itself.
I agree. I think it was, yeah, just like you said, it looked maybe they didn't give them enough or
I mean, as
what.
much as I thought they built it up pretty well. They made it seem like they really didn't like each other, and kind of two people coming from two different sides, kind of
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, they only gave them 7 minutes, and that's
yeah,
for the women's title. I mean, come on, you got to give them more than that.
gotta get
And
more out of it. I mean, as good as Stephanie Vaquer has been since she's came to WWE, I will.
yeah,
It's kind of weak that she only got the defend her title for seven. You know what I'm saying? WrestleMania 7 minutes. They could have. I don't know. It could have been a little better.
no, yeah, I mean, especially you got. I mean, looking at match times from yesterday, the main event got 22. Gunther and Seth Rollins got almost 18. Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre got 14. So then you got, Liv and Stephanie got 6:51. Becky Lynch, AJ Lee got a little over 8 minutes for the women's intercontinental match, which Becky Lynch won. And then the Fatal 4-Way women's tag championship match.
That was kind of weak too. I thought that was going to be a lot better than what it was.
Yeah, that got 8.5. Of course, with the big surprise early on, injured Nikki Bella brings out Paige, a returning Paige, to
At
take
that,
her place.
I don't
Yeah,
know. At that point, you kind of knew who was going to win because
yeah, yeah.
that
Paige,
kind of
I did think Paige looked good though. She looked in good shape. She looked good in the ring.
yeah.
Good for her first WWE match in a long time. Of course, she had a run in AEW. I do think that at least that can give you a story going forward there with her and Nikki and taking her place there.
Right.
So. But yeah, overall, a little disappointed with the limited time they gave some of the women. Like that opening 6-man tag with the Usos and LA Knight versus the Vision and ISHO Speed. I think
I don't know that. I mean, it was.
I
It's
don't
like
think you
we
need that. You didn't. That could be a Raw. That can be a tomorrow night match. That can be a
SmackDown.
Raw after
Yeah,
Mania match. Yeah.
yeah, that would not really. Really, that shouldn't have even been a. Really shouldn't have been a WrestleMania match. Other than I guess they had to get the Usos and LA Knight some on WrestleMania. It seemed like they're trying to find something for them to do more so than anything. Um, if anything, they probably should have. If anything, if they wanted the Usos to be on there, they probably should have give them a damn tag team championship match. If anything, but,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. I mean, if it, I probably would have axe that match, and they could have probably moved Dom and Finn to that spot yesterday. But if I was that was me, but I mean I get it. I mean I chose Speed obviously a big social media guy. So I mean, and that was on ESPN, so it gets a lot of probably kids who know who he is and stuff. So I get it, but and then the I guess the build up to the Drew McIntyre Jacob Fatu was better than the actual match. They've been brutal fighting for weeks. I mean, they didn't even really leave the ring area. And I get it, it was on the ESPN, so maybe they had to cut back a little bit on what they were going to do. But I don't know. As brutal as they've been at times with each other on SmackDown, I thought I was expecting a little more go to the back or something. I don't know, but it was okay. I would say, from watching at home, I mean, it was entertaining enough. It kept my interest. And if I'm paying the WrestleMania prices for what some are paying, I'm kind of disappointed, I guess. I mean, it's not as bad as what some people say it is. I mean, I thought this year's WrestleMania in Vegas was way better than last year's WrestleMania in Vegas. I thought the Crowd's still a little questionable, but much better than what they were last year, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go to bat, of course, for New Orleans and say it's bullshit that they took it from them and should have
Absolutely.
stayed there. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, if I had my biggest complaints, yeah, you saw empty sections of the crowd there. I get having WrestleMania in stadiums, I guess, but man, you just some of these seats. We heard about the pricing issues there.
They dropped it in a second, but it's like, man, come on.
Yeah, my main complaint with the broadcast, at least, the amount of commercials on this year's WrestleMania was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, got an
Like
hour commercials each night at least.
at least, and it took away so much match time on a thing that people are paying for anyway.
Yeah,
And we used to get like maybe one or two, but you'd mostly see video packages or whatever. But the one thing they have stopped doing in WrestleMania is they used to do a lot of little skits or little, sketches backstage a lot. You'd run into legends backstage, or you'd have like a quick little funny thing backstage, and
but
or maybe an interview. Just
oh,
something
really,
that
how
kept
they
the
can
story
do it
going.
all
Yeah.
up to the Peacock. Used if you're the premium Peacock people, you would get the all the stuff before the match leading up to why they were fighting each other at
Oh
WrestleMania.
yeah, yeah. All the big build up, all the
That was commercial and matches. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
all the big video packages, which used to be great. The I saw someone on Blue Sky today make a great point. I think it was Jason Kirk actually from Shutdown Fullcast, but he talked about one of the biggest strengths WWE used to have with in regards to WrestleMania is you had a lot of people that maybe didn't watch weekly still tune in because it's WrestleMania, and they would have these just absolutely outstanding video packages that caught you up on the story and kind
absolutely.
of got you, like
I do love
invoked an emotional response and got you invested in the story,
right.
and told you why these guys are fighting. You're like, what's at stake here? And they just didn't do that this year. And it was they had a couple like for the main events, I guess, but like man, like just the
Sure.
absolute amount of commercials was stupid. And like you're already getting money.
Yeah.
People are paying to watch this. Like, yeah, it's terrible.
You're either paying a monthly subscription or your providers maybe
And
sign big
it,
contracts to get. And that was the other
right.
thing. These YouTube TV should be built by SummerSlam. They said is what the that all the articles were saying this week. So
Yeah, in regards to that, and then next year, of course, being in Saudi Arabia, man, it's looking a little,
questionable,
yeah, for sure. But
but
night two, I thought, oh, go ahead.
no, it's just everybody's kind of upset with the the whole THQ kind of this take.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
TKO.
noticeable. Yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
not yeah, no, not the game company.
yeah, no,
But
they were awesome. Their games used to be great.
yeah, kind of since then, I mean, you notice some of the things that normally would have never happened. It's more of the commercial, less of I don't know. You, it's more meant. It seems like more for your a- basic. Uh, not every your hardcore wrestling fan is less and less happy with WWE. It's more for your I don't know, kind of the semi. I watch a little bit time to time, more so. You're more for that it seems than you're everything wrestling fan.
Yeah, for sure. I did think night two was a lot better.
Yeah,
I thought tonight was a lot better. Of course, it started off Obafemi, Brock Lesnar, quick match. Not that I expected, some 15-minute clinic from them, but
yeah,
less than
big
5 minutes, and Obafemi not only beats Brock Lesnar, but apparently
tired him.
retires him. Yeah, Brock Lesnar after the match takes off his gloves and boots, and says his goodbyes to the crowd. Paul Heyman a big old emotional hug. Now it is pro wrestling, so never say never. You
Usually,
know,
I don't. That'd
yeah,
be kind of weird. I mean, that'd be several years down the road if he were. At that point he's old,
yeah.
even older than he is now. So I would say it's pretty. I don't know. I would
But
take it.
say if
for
it
what
is a
it's
work, if it is a story of some kind, I would expect that to pay off immediately on Raw tomorrow night. You know,
right.
Obafemi comes out and immediately Lesnar attacks him or something. But it looked pretty legit to me that like Lesnar,
Yeah,
and you know, obviously, many things problematic with Brock Lesnar outside of the ring, but
I mean,
as
yeah,
far as Lesnar, the wrestler inside the ring, he is a consummate professional, and he's one of those guys that absolutely got professional wrestling,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
he did it right. You know, you go out on your back, you hype up the new guy, and you make Obafemi look like an absolute star.
Yeah,
Not that he already didn't, but I mean,
he did that the whole time. You know.
yeah. But it's you know you give him a really big you know pelt,
Yeah,
so to say, a notch in his belt when you take out Brock Lesnar like he did tonight.
in the fashion, kicked out the F5,
Yeah,
hit him.
kicked out the F5. Yeah, hit him with that. What does he call that? The that sit out last ride time. What is the net? What does he call that damn power bomb?
Ah man, yeah,
Shit, blanking on it. But yeah, it's a great looking move, and for him to get a guy like Lesnar up. I mean, Obafemi, Alabama product too. Roll Tide. But yeah, man. If I would be shocked if he is not either a champion going into next year's WrestleMania or doesn't win one at WrestleMania next year, like a big time title, like a you know one of the
he's
heavyweight titles. Yeah.
he definitely has the star appeal. He has the look of a champion. He has a
Yeah.
obviously the pop of a champion. I
I'm
mean,
about to say the crowd loves him. Crowd's
probably the
into it.
he's one of the most popular dudes out right now. I mean,
If
everybody loves
it's
his ball.
yeah, if I'm booking, I give him one of the mid card titles, IC title or the US title, and I just
Yeah,
let him destroy everybody in his path for until around next year's WrestleMania. Then you know,
yeah,
either he's got to be your Rumble champ or something, but he needs to be involved in one of your main events next year.
absolutely. Because
Yeah.
you know, yeah, I mean, he has that almost that Goldberg appeal as far as you know. Oh, but you know, big dude squash half the roster. You know, he can win 60 matches in a row. You know, quick matches look
Yeah.
pretty simple. So I mean, they could definitely go that way if they would like. And just build them up, build them up. Yeah, get them an IC title or US championship. Um, yeah, and then you know whoever you know, yeah, you would think he has to win a elimination chamber or a rumble so he could get to a title of his choice next year. See what he
Yeah.
has.
And who knows? Maybe they pulled the trigger even earlier.
Yeah,
Wouldn't shock me there either. But yeah, he's absolutely. And then we had the 6-way ladder match for the
awesome.
IC title. Awesome, always, man. It's hard to go wrong with a ladder match, man.
And you knew it was gonna be. I mean, just who was involved, you knew it was gonna be a phenomenal match. I mean, and to me, it was
Yeah.
a match of the night as far as the action. I mean, it was nonstop. You know, they're hitting finishers off the things, off the ladders. I mean, it's everything you would have expected from that match. And you know, Penta holds on to the championship. So I mean,
I'm about to say Penta, the only champ that retained his title at WrestleMania.
with him and Cody,
Cody, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
I was, I thought we were, I thought maybe they're gonna let Javon win, honestly. But you know, he has a lot of,
They definitely gave him his spots.
yeah,
I will tell you though, to me the MVP of that match was JD McDonough because he took a
oh,
couple big spots, man, and that
yeah, he did.
he took that Mexican destroyer onto
Oh
the
my
ladder from
gosh,
Penta. Oh man, and he also hit that Spanish fly off the ladder on Dragon Lee.
that was
Man,
really that's
JD
good.
McDonough looked great. He was like he carried that match, man.
They need to let that man get some eventually. Let him get some gold, yeah, because he
Yeah.
definitely did a hell of a job.
Give him
Absolutely,
a reward of some sort. Hopefully, you know, the fans recognize it. But yeah, that was I just thought watching that match and afterwards, I mean, of course, yeah, Javon Evans, the star of the show, Penta. I mean, Penta looked great too. He had a couple of big
yeah,
spots himself. And I've loved Penta for years since I first saw him in Lucha Underground back about a decade ago now, and he's instantly one of those guys you're like, oh, okay, wait a minute, I got to watch this guy.
yeah.
I do. There's one thing I don't think he's really brought it out yet, but he had this gimmick in Lucha Underground where he just started snapping dudes' arms and just did not give. He just broke it. Oh, men, women didn't care. Wrestlers, non-wrestlers, just had this thing for a while where he just snapping
Mm,
people's arms. It was
that's
hilarious. It's like
so,
kind of like, man. Do you remember when Bret Hart back in the day when he was a heel would do the figure four around the post?
oh
Kind
yeah,
of do that. Yeah, and it was, they'd be like, oh, he's tearing his knee up. It was kind of like that. He just, every chance he got, he just broke somebody's arm.
that's funny.
But yeah, I thought, yeah, hat tip to JD McDonough on that one.
Oh yeah, he's so.
Had Trick Williams defeat Sami Zayn for the U.S. title. That was
Yeah,
okay. Another quick match there.
I mean, quick match, but you kind of expect a Trick to win just because he's so over with the fans right now. You got to give that man the
Yeah,
title. Got to give him
absolutely.
one,
Yeah,
and back. The fans are tired of Sammy. Nobody, it's the most unpopular Sammy's been in a long time.
it is. Yeah, and he had a little low blow tonight, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been watching it too much. Was he heel coming into this, or was that kind of cementing a heel turn right
I mean,
there?
he's been kind of a baby. I mean, he was a baby. He didn't even have the match, and then everybody kind of wanted to see. He kind of he got he got his little championship match last second. Um, I mean,
I about to say he
but
was because he took that U.S. title off someone recently, didn't he? He hasn't
yeah,
had
he
that.
won it on SmackDown like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
He won it because Chick Williams hit what's his name in that he accidentally punched why can't I think of his name?
I about to say I don't even know who was the U.S. champ. Was it his boy Carmelo from
Yeah,
NXT?
Carmelo.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Carmelo had had it for a couple months, and he had the open challenge and had some phenomenal matches.
I would say
Everybody kind of
that's
want to see Carmelo go to WrestleMania because he had been carrying it for a while, since December, when he had won it from Dragunov. Um, and I think that's the main thing. Like people are like, "Dude, why is Sammy getting this?" Carmelo pretty much all for the year held it down and probably should have went to into WrestleMania. And if he's gonna lose a trick at WrestleMania, it's still WrestleMania. And Carmelo really got real popular with the fans, so I think a lot of people were kind of pissed at that. And Sammy did a little crybaby act to kind of get in there and get a match. So,
it'll be interesting to see that going forward. Yeah, Carmelo's another dude that I was surprised. Yeah, I was thinking to myself, like I said, I haven't watched a lot of the build up.
yeah,
But I was surprised not see him there because I knew I did watch a lot of his run in NXT a few years ago with him and Trick specifically, and yeah, Carmelo Hayes jumped out as a you're like, oh, that's a future main
yeah,
eventer.
um,
Um,
yeah. He great wrestler. Hey, that's the best thing with that title. They since they started doing basically every week they're fighting. It's just whoever it's open challenge thing going on. So
yeah, ever since that John Cena run, yeah, it's been kind of the
they
standard
brought
there.
kind of brought that back. Open challenge. Every week he was going on SmackDown and he had a hell of a run there. So thank the
Let's
rest.
see. Yeah, elsewhere you had Finn Balor bring back his demon persona for first time in a few years, beat Dominic Mysterio in a street fight there.
Okay.
Rhea Ripley took the women's title off of Jade Cargill.
Kind of expect. I was kind of disappointed though.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I wasn't shocked. I guess I just thought Jay didn't really get much of a run at all.
Yeah, it was a weird. I did read, at least, coming into this, although I haven't watched much about it. And that seemed to be the overall sentiment is that her run wasn't that great. So maybe this is just them trying to do a reset, build her back up, give it back to her down the road and let her have a better run then.
She's so dominant. You just want to see her hold on to, but I mean, it was kind of expected. Um,
Yeah.
just,
And then, of course, the main event, World Heavyweight title, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, got over a half an hour. Uh, by far, of course, the longest match of the weekend. I thought it delivered. I thought it was a really good match.
Great match.
Hmm.
They did everything you expected to do. I mean, it went so they had nothing left. They each hit each other with their finishers and popped out, and did it. It lived up to everything you would expect the main event to do.
Hmm. Yeah,
There's you know, I guess Roman Reigns, you either love him or hate him, kind of
hmm
guy. Some people are pissed because they don't like that he takes his little hiatuses sometimes and not kind of defends as much as other people. But he's kind of a love or hate him type of guy. But it lived up. The hype, the back and forth between them has been great. And then not just up tonight, it was everything you would hope for. I thought it was awesome.
yeah, and then again with the story coming in, CM Punk being the one in storyline to bring in Roman Reigns as part of the Shield for his debut, and then you've
They
had some
brought
really
that.
good promos between the two. Yeah, it even had the story of them both being in that triple threat match last year where Paul Heyman turned on both of them. So,
Right.
and then yeah, as far as the storytelling within the match itself, getting down to that end where Punk hit that GTS and then landed on his knees, and Reigns kind of fell right back into position, but Punk collapsed trying to get him back up. Just couldn't do it. Basically, he gave everything he had, and Roman Reigns withstood it and hit him with that super spear, basically. That where he gets the running off the
But
couple ropes there. Yeah,
finally got the 3 count after a couple of kickouts.
yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed that match. I thought it delivered as far as the main event should. We'll see where they go from here, but yeah, overall, probably a below average.
It
Yeah,
was. I
yeah.
mean, if you're just, I guess, if you're just looking for, I don't know, just a couple hours of entertainment. Not, you're not looking for too much delivered. If you were looking for the most in depth, I guess you're not happy. But I think that's just kind of where we're at with wrestling right now. If you're an old school fan expecting something that's you're not, I don't think you're ever gonna be happy if you expect to be an attitude era type thing or anything like that. So I think that's where a lot of the anger comes from. I mean, I get it. The amount of commercials does suck. They could have spent that up, building up, talking about stuff backstage, stuff like you had said. Is there? Oh, I guess we did forget to talk about the what's the name match? Gunther versus
Oh, Seth Rollins. Yeah,
Seth Rollins, the comeback of Braun Breaker.
that's true. Yeah, Braun Breaker comes back to cost Seth Rollins a
They
match.
kind of, I guess that was the whole purpose of that whole match was just to have a spot for Braun to come back. Other than that, it's kind of
Yeah.
weird they were even fighting. He forced the storyline, I thought, but now we see Braun Breaker back from his injury, which was pretty serious when it happened.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see where that goes.
But obviously,
But
that's
yeah,
some.
overall, I feel like it didn't feel like a WrestleMania. Something about it was just off.
I think sometimes too, it's the locations. Like Las
Yeah.
Vegas last year, did you expect much different this year? I don't know why they got it 2 years in a row. It would have been much better in New Orleans. New Orleans has been a hell of a crowd. I think that their pop would have been much better for different things. Like I thought, what's his name? As much as he's over, I thought like Trick Williams should have got way more pop when he came out than what he did. I was like, whoa. And really,
Yeah.
it just kind of just show. But overall, I think that I don't like the fans. I don't know. It's something about fans. Like you get a mix of people. You have your passionate fans. They usually aren't the ones paying for the tickets. But then you have these fans that I don't know feel like that they're too cool to be too into stuff. I don't know. Just yeah, it just doesn't have the feel of what WrestleMania is used to, but I think that's kind of how it's been the last couple of years, honestly.
Yeah, it's really weird, and like I said, this I understand them getting the big ticket number in these stadiums, and WrestleMania being in a stadium isn't necessarily the worst thing, but
Maybe they need to get back to one night.
yeah, there's just something about it, and again, I understand. Yeah, the
Maybe
two
one
night
night.
thing. Yeah,
Maybe it will stretch it out because one night you're gonna only have your biggest matches. You're not gonna have a bunch of
yeah,
fluff because you only have 3 or 4 hours. So you're really gonna get your best matches. And I would say too, yeah, it depends where you're at. Uh, But yeah, that size of the arena really does. I think it changes everything. Because even if you're in a football stadium and 40,000 people are going crazy, it doesn't look that it doesn't look that wild in a big NFL stadium. If you're in, an NBA arena, Madison Square Garden, something like that, 20 some thousand people all packed in
you,
tight going crazy, it looks way
yeah.
different.
You
You
hear it,
know,
or even even
Like,
in the Superdome, man, you hear that pop, man.
yeah,
And I think we probably talked about it during the Rumble, but I wish that they would just every other. You can keep manias in stadiums, that's fine. I wish they would get everyone back. Like the Royal Rumble doesn't need to be in a stadium; that should be an arena show.
yeah,
And yeah, go to the big arenas. That's fine. Madison Square Garden, get Mercedes, whatever. Get your bigger arenas that can hold more people, but you need that crowd. You need to hear that sound in wrestling.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because honestly, your Raws and your SmackDowns get your better crowds than your
Yeah.
LEs.
And
And then
then
if they actually got more back, also the more reasonable prices, and of course you get your more hardcore wrestling fan is really going to be super excited, more so than celebrities or just people, that just going to go, maybe not your biggest wrestling fans, but they either got invited or don't mind, spending 1,000 is not a big deal, so it depends. But yeah, that's fine.
yeah. So
But I
but
mean,
yeah.
it was cool. I mean, it was cool. Better than last year, I would say. Not the best, not the worst. If you just went in with no, I say if you went into it with not much expectation, it was cool. If you expected a lot, I don't know why you would have. Then you're probably disappointed.
But so
But
yeah, I didn't really know what to get, so I thought I'd probably have a higher opinion of it than
right,
I would
and I
have
thought
even a
it
few
was.
years ago when I was watching weekly. But
But I also thought it was good because you both your big matches, you weren't exactly sure how they were going to go. With
yeah,
Cody and Randy, and then CM Punk and Roman. I mean, either one of those matches could win either way, and those are the only two matches that I was like, I'm not sure how these are going to go exactly. So I thought the two main events lived up to the hype. Some of the other matches did. Some of them seem like Raw, SmackDown type matches. But it is what it is.
yeah. So
It's
yeah,
good to
we'll
see
see. On to
results.
Monday Night Raw Backlash over on AEW. They put the strap on Darby Allen, one of the pillars, one of the four pillars of AEW, a guy that's been there since the beginning. A guy who's certainly earned it. Now, I think opinion is split on how they did it. It was kind of a surprise squash match, a real quick win.
Right.
And I've seen some people kind of fight back against that. They were happy he's got the belt, but think he deserved maybe a bigger spot, and that's hard to it's
Absolutely.
it's hard to argue because I mean Darby Allin's his whole thing is kind of being the survivor, the scrapper that you can't put away, and so to have him squash someone's kind of weird. Even as poetic as it is taking the title off MJF, but
Right.
again, it's all about sometimes you can make it better by where you go after
Right.
the
Right.
match itself.
Not
So
the
yeah,
match.
we'll see where they go. We'll see where WWE goes with WrestleMania results, and Backlash is next for them. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's all I got. I guess I could mention, of course, big Premier League result today. Manchester City beats Arsenal 2-1. Now pulls within 3. They have a game in hand, which they play Burnley, who's already, we know they're getting relegated, so they'll probably win that, and then they would
Yeah.
go top of the Premier League. So all of the Arsenal is going to choke stories are now coming true. So yay. Fun. Awesome. Great. Of course, still a good number of games left, so anything can happen. But and then Arsenal's got to step up in Champions League semifinal coming up in a couple weeks. So they still have that, but yeah, disappointing result for Arsenal fans today. At the very least, though, they did play a very good game. It was a very good match from a neutral's perspective for entertainment. Arsenal just a little bit unlucky to hit the post twice and barely missed a header late. They could have tied it. They hit the post. At least one of those was when it would have given them the lead, if not both of them. Them's are the breaks sometimes.
Right.
And now a surging Manchester City, but they haven't been a death machine. They have been usually this year either, so they could certainly slip up and open the window again for. So it's still a race, but now it's one that City is in control of, which is disappointing. But yeah, you got anything else, Greg?
I think that's all for now.
All right, then, folks, and we will catch you next week. Greg, buddy, I'll see you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.